something play in the meantime.
From today, where culture lives, where memories rise, from the streets of Georgetown to the hills of Jamaica, from Buxton to the diaspora worldwide. This is more than a conversation, legacy in the sky. Back in the days when the sun would shine, paper kites dancing in a perfect line. From the yard to the seawall side, whole family out watching dreams take flight. Glue on we hands, bamboo we frame. Every kite tell a story, every child know the name. From the rooftop calls to the open breeze, we were flying more than kites, we were flying, believe. If it higher, don't let go. Feel the wind, let it flow. Let it rise, let it rise. Legacy written in the sky. From the past to our lives, we keep the culture alive. Let it fly. What we carry deep inside. From the roots we survive. Legacy in the sky. Radio playing, reggae sounds sweet. Neighbors line up, dancing in the street. From Jamaica to Guyana shore, one love, one vibe, we asking for more. Old time stories never fade away. Every Easter bring it back today. Even when we far from home, we still fly kites in a different zone. Don't let the culture fall. Don't let the memories die. If the kite can rise, so can we. Let it rise, let it rise. Legacy written in the sky. From the past to our lives, we keep the culture alive. Let it fly. What we carry deep inside. From the roots we survive. Legacy in the sky. From paper to purpose. DJ Queen, matured mixture. We keep the culture alive.
Awesome, awesome, guys. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
awesome. Good. Like to hear the fellas that hear me, man, because I don't want to get this going without you guys with the wisdom, man. Good night to all of you. Welcome on into the forefront today. Good evening, good night, good morning. Some folks in the UK, in Africa, whatever is the time zone. Good night to you and welcome to Forefront today, where we bring stories to life right here, where culture is not forgotten and where legacy speaks. I am your host, DJ Crane, the matured mixer, and I'm also uh, having with me some guests tonight. Tonight, we take you all the way back to the time when Easter mean more than holiday. It meant family, it meant community, it meant kites in the sky. And so tonight, Easter and flying legacy in the sky is what we're going to be talking about. And joining me tonight, with powerful voices, living memories. We got Big Brother Frankie, Franklin the Floorman, master kite builder and cultural Carrier, and Bobby Adams to come on very soon. The Music Machine, co-founder of WFFR Sunshine Radio. We got DJ Jimmy T Experience, voice of culture and memory, and I'm hope to get also Robert Bobby Newby, musicologist and cultural historian. Gentlemen,
Yes.
welcome to Forefront today.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you
Awesome.
for inviting us.
Uh-huh.
Frankie, man, I know I'm going to start with you because uh, you have a wealth of knowledge in this kite building, kite flying business, man. So, Frankie, let's start with you. You didn't just fly kites, right? You lived it, you built it, you taught it.
Mhm.
Man, take us back to what was Easter like growing up in Georgetown, Queenstown, Georgetown, Guyana.
Very festive kind of occasion. I think that for some people, it even beat Christmas.
Mm,
It was really festive, and the kite flying tradition uh, went back so long. I think the Chinese brought the kite flying or the kite making business into Guyana
mm,
sometime in the 19th century, and it was basically just a celebration, spring celebrations for the Chinese. But when they came over here as came over to Guyana as indentured laborers, they brought with them their kite flying or kite making skills, and it's taken hold. But it's not just a celebration for spring, it is a celebration for Easter, the ascension of Jesus um, from his grave, and the everyone look up as they fly their kites and
Ascension.
remember
Mm,
the scripture, remember that Jesus Christ died for all of us.
mm,
There, the skill is passed on. I have no doubt that most children in Guyana know how to make a kite, but I'm going to start from the beginning. When
yeah.
I started making kites, and when my dad showed me how to make a kite, we had very little material. Uh, we didn't have the colorful paper, the bamboo frames. We actually made kites from the point of broom.
Mm,
Took a couple pieces of point of broom and make a cross, and not a cross, but actually a tree stem figure,
Yeah.
an X and a cross in the middle, and we put a little tiny pin into it
Mm-hmm.
and then string it to the extent that it formed like a kind of a box. For paper, we could use several types of paper in that during that time. It could have been we call it grease proof paper,
We
which is
spoke,
the
yeah.
paper that you use to bake cakes, etc.
Mm.
I think they call it parchment paper over here.
Mm-hmm.
And we would paste it onto the frame. And most of the times, we didn't really call it a kite. We called it a caddy or
Carry or
punch.
punch, yeah, yeah.
And don't ask me why we call it that. Um, but we had a lot of fun flying it. Flying it just involved indicating a loop that can control the up and downward movement of the kite
Yeah.
and a tail to keep it elevated into the air.
Mm.
But it was skillful. You had to be skillful in doing it. Some people or some kids made their kites to the extent that they designed the loop that it could be a pulling loop
Uh-huh.
whereby the tension on the cord or the string or the thread as we used it in those days
Yeah.
um, could cause the kite to burst and fly away.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids cried and ran behind their kites. Of course, with the wind that we see in Guyana, there's no way in the world you could run and catch that kite because it would stay up in the air for several blocks and you definitely would not be able to get it back. But we had a lot of fun flying kites and making kites. Our parents taught her well, or dads actually, because I'm not quite sure that our mothers were interested in teaching their kids, daughters and sons, how to make kites. But they did. The dads did. And they passed on this tradition of kite making that is very prevalent in Guyana right now. I would suspect that every kid in Guyana knows how to make a kite.
Mm.
Hopefully, later we can get into the development of the kite to the extent that now there are so many different shapes and sizes
Uh-huh.
that the skies in Guyana on Easter Monday is blocked out by
Mm.
those thousands and thousands of kites and kids running and flying their kites and having a good time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I checked it out to see if there's any scripture that allows us
So that's
to
it, at least for now. And
yeah.
I can get back with some more details in regards to um, the festivity of kite flying in Guyana.
Thank you so much. Are you hearing me, Frankie? Are you hearing me, Frankie? Are you hearing me, Frankie? Are you hearing me, Frankie?
I'm not hearing you.
So you might have to adjust your microphone, your headphones, because folks, if you guys are hearing me, let me know that you are hearing me. Frankie, you might have to go back out and reset your headphones because, as far as I know, let me see if. Uh, how about uh, how about you now, Jimmy T? You hear me loud and
Yeah,
clear?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, loud and clear.
Awesome, awesome. Frankie,
Mhm.
Frankie might need to go out and come back in. But I was checking it out to see if the Bible have anything to for us to go on. But it doesn't mention kite flying directly, but there are powerful biblical principles you can connect to it, especially for teaching, preaching, or for what we're doing right now. As in John chapter 3, verse 8, the wind blows wherever it pleases. And I got to tell the folks, that you can look towards that. I mean, a kite only rises when it submits to the wind. A believer rises when they yield to the Spirit. So, we pull all kinds of stuff when we want to apply it to our lives. And we could apply that teaching. You don't see the wind, but you see the evidence. You don't see the Spirit, but you see the change, right? And so folks will want to pull out stuff from the Bible to meet their own cause. But let's look at John 15:5. Without me, you can do nothing. The kite may rise high, but without a string, it's lost. So we can pull stuff from that and stay connected, because elevation without connection leads to what? Destruction. So in the meanwhile, while we try to get Frankie to go out and come back in, I'm gonna go to you, Jimmy T, because you, man, I'm telling you, you are a legend in lots of ways. You are a legend. I can call upon you for a name of a song, and
My
you would
goodness.
know it out your head. But tonight we're talking kite flying. You didn't just witness Easter. You lived the joy, I believe, Jimmy T. So tell me, Jimmy, what are your earliest Easter memories in Guyana?
Well, it's very simple. It's compared to what Frankie just mentioned. Uh, as a youngster, I used to make kites with a pointer broom. I don't know if anybody knows what a pointer broom is, but uh, anyhow, it's a narrow. You there? I think I dropped. Yes.
I'm hearing you, Jimmy T. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. Um, the kites we used to make back in those days as a youngster were of light bamboo wood, pointer broom, string, cord, uh, crepe paper, or newspaper, or Barbados paper, as I said, which is more durable, glamour cherry, or gum for sealing. And of course, there are different types of kites. Now, I'm talking, I was like age 10, 11, and my cousins and I, who lived in the same complex, we would get together and make these kites. And just in case folks don't know, there are different sizes or different types of kites, different constructions. You have like the hexagonal, the box kite, the triangular kite, and as Frankie says, kite flying was introduced by the Chinese indentured laborers over 170 years ago in Guyana, and it signifies the rising of Christ. And in Guyana, it's a national holiday. The locations for the kite flying are normally on the seawall, the Georgetown seawall. The what is used to be the Durban Park Racecourse. I think there's a national stadium there now. Kitty Playground, the Parade Ground, among others. And cricket grounds also. Cricket is a very popular sport in Guyana and the Caribbean. So on Easter Monday, everybody couldn't go to the seawall, so they had to go to various locations. Now, there used to be competitions as to see which kite will fly the highest. And
Okay.
what happens is we had some quote unquote cheaters would attach razor blades to the tail of their kites. And as they go up, those razor blades would cut down the strings or tails of the competitors, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mischievous, yeah, mischievous
Yeah,
ones, right?
yes.
Mischievous ones. Okay.
Yeah. But as I said, much of my memory is when I was like 10 or 11 years old. And after that, I left Guyana, and not much kite flying after that. But it was competition with my cousins to see whose kite can fly the highest. And of course, you use a ball of string, and the longer the string, the higher the kite goes. So some of my memories of kite flying in Guyana.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What made kite flying season so special for you? And I just heard that from you. You look forward to those competitions.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. And you had to travel from far to come to the city, or you actually saw
I,
those competitions
I,
in your
lived,
village?
I lived in Georgetown. I lived in
Okay.
Georgetown. So I was in the mix.
You had the privilege of
Yeah, on the
walking to the
seawall,
seawall, National
seawall,
Park.
the national park, the parade ground. Yeah,
Mm.
very simple, very
And
simple.
what the community feel like? I mean, folks with lunch baskets. What it felt like to you?
Festive
Uh,
occasion.
see- yeah.
Festive occasion. Also, too, on that particular day, there'll be what we call picnics. Not just
Mm.
only kite flying. Folks will have their parties, 2 to 10 parties, as they say, on that particular day.
Hmm.
Just as most national holidays in there, that's a popular event. But
Okay.
so kite flying is not the only thing that occurred on Easter Monday.
So tell me more. What sounds or smells or sights, that stand out to you back in those days when you were 10? Sounds, smells. Did you smell some roly poly, some pastries? What are some of the things that you smell a lot
I
that
guess
really
I guess
remind you of
I guess
Easter?
roti and curry.
Roti and card.
Yeah, yeah, chicken roti curry. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me now, Jimmy, how did those experiences shape who you are today? Seeing those festivities as a young child, seeing folks getting together and celebrating in Easter time like this.
Uh, Basically, you can say I was a party animal. I love to mix and mingle with folks.
Hmm.
Um, uh, it was an occasion to get together with family and friends, you know. But that's what I can recall, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But you into radio a whole lot now. What roles does radio play in keeping those memories alive, Jimmy? I know you are. I mean, you could be relaxing in retirement and
Yeah.
doing nothing, but you into radio. And tell me how it helps you to do well on radio with those memories.
Memories. It makes me feel youthful again. Listen, listen to folks like Sarah Vaughan, Brooke Benton, Benny King, the Drifters, the Platters.
Mm,
You know, who else? Before the Four Tops, Diana Ross and Supremes. I
mm.
just love music.
Awesome, awesome.
But
Thank you.
you're good to DJ Quinn. You know
Uh,
I tip the hat off to you. You are the true legend. You cover all aspects of music. I hear you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I learned from you guys the best, the best.
You did
Uh,
an excellent job.
yep, yep. Thank you so much. Welcome back, Frankie. Are you hearing me loud and clear? Now I can
I'm not
now I
hearing you. I'm not
now
hearing
I
you.
can't hear you now, Frankie. You hear me now? I can't hear you. So
Does he have
so
the mute?
check your microphone.
His mute button is on. That's what it is.
Your
There
Could
you
you
go.
you
hear me?
There, there you
Could
go.
you
right,
hear
right.
me now?
Remember that. Right. Remember that to unmute yourself when you want
Mm,
to speak.
uh-huh.
Um, so tell me, Frankie, I know a couple of things that folks do when they fly kites because if you spend all day, especially Sunday and Monday, out in the seawall there, and you look up in the sky and the sun is so bright, you kind of lose your sight for a little bit when you get home. Do you remember any time that you might have lost your sight, paying so much attention to what's in the sky rather than, taking your eyes off your kite flying? You remember being blinded for a moment?
You kidding me? I more than remember.
Tell us about that.
It's not only the blindness. The blindness is not a big problem. What is the problem is the pain. You
Mm,
open your eyes and there's light, and you feel a pain that is just unbearable.
mm,
So you have to either keep your eyes closed or turn all the lights off. That's
mm,
the only way you're going to get relief. And that happens when you gaze up at the sun too long. I mean, and I can tell you, we're talking about hours of gazing up at the sun. As children, we did not necessarily know the effects of the sun and gazing at it for so
mm.
long. And so many of us experience that trauma, and it really is trauma.
Wow.
Um, Gazing up in the sun and flying a kite, you got to be very careful. I think now many parents tell their children not to do that. And as a result, I'm not quite sure that very many youngsters have that experience. They know better.
Mm. Awesome. I lost you again, Frankie. What your Frankie? Are you still saying something, or you check on your mute?
Jimmy, I may have lost you again. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you now, but if somebody called, it probably bunks you off, and those kind of things happen. But good night to you, Miss Gwen Frederick. She said, "I'm listening. I love going to the seawalls with my dad and siblings on Easter Monday to fly our kites. Great memory," she says. Sharon K. Benson is saying good night to us. Good night to you, Mrs. Benson. Good night to you. Unika Grant is back with me. Board Kite, she remembers that. Borna, good night to you, my folks from Rosignol and number 5, Carlene Edwards. Good night to you, wifey Abiola. Good night to you. Happy Easter, she says. And Maureen Chakwandindu is on. Idris Grosvenor is on with us. And my friend in the village there, Rodney, Mona Rodney. Welcome to all of you. Gigi George is on here from the Gigi Show. And Joyce N. Marchant. Thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. Please share it. Please share and comment. Ask your questions of these guys. These guys full of wisdom about kite flying. And some of you never made a kite, you never seen one, and I can ask Frankie to tell us when did you have that passion, Frankie? When did you have that passion to really, really love kite flying? Frankie losing, Frankie losing song to me. So while Frankie is working on that, man, Frankie, are you hearing? Let me ask you, Jimmy.
Uh-huh.
You have you flown a kite that you looked at the sky too long and you remember that you lost your sight for a moment when you got home, or did you neglect yourself eating lunch, dinner, just so you can really fly your kite and all that good stuff?
No, I think I avoided the sun. I never had that experience. I never got a blackout or anything like that. No. Mm-mm.
Okay. And have you been around mischievous friends who would uh use a razor blade on the tail of the kite and cause you to cry over your kite, you know?
Fortunately, I never experienced that either. I've been very lucky. But
Awesome.
as I said, it was a pleasure just to make a kite more than fly a kite. You know, it was good
Mm,
when you can get it up, but to actually make it from scratch at age 10 or 11, I think it's fantastic. You know, so
awesome. Where did you get your glamour cherry from?
I guess the local grocery stores or supermarkets. I can't recall. It's so long ago. You know, but,
Really?
but it had to
I
be.
think
Yeah.
well for me in the village we had a tree in our area. It was easy, but you got to go early and
Mhm.
store it up. Let me ask Frankie. Frankie, where did you get your glamour cherry from?
We had a big tree right in the backyard,
I
man.
suspect so, man. So
Mm.
you had access to the taste.
Not only did we use it as paste, we use it as a fruit. Some of it, it took a bite, four or five of them. It's not a you can't do a lot of it because you can feel that sticky, gluey stuff in your mouth.
Mm,
But yeah, we had a nice big backyard with a nice big glamour cherry tree.
awesome. And take us back to those days when you walked from where was that? Queenstown, Albertown. You look forward, but first let me go back to when did you actually start, working on your materials for this season? A week before, 2 weeks, a month? How long before you start getting stuff together?
I keep losing you. I don't know if you're hearing me.
I am hearing you. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm hearing you. One more time, Frankie. Hear me now? Meantime, I want to say good night to Lavorne and once again to you, Gigi, and all the folks coming on in. I hope you're sharing the broadcast. I hope you're sharing it to the folks in my village. Mona, I hope you're sharing this. I hope you're sharing it, Carlene, because back in those days, we actually used to get out there and look for our glamour cherry early because there's some trees that would get empty of glamour cherry very soon because folks like Desmond and the Henry boys and stuff, they would get the glamour cherry and then we got to buy it from them. So you got to start early trying to get your stuff together. Frankie, you're back with me. You hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah. Tell
I'm
me
not
about.
quite sure why I'm losing you like this, but
Yeah, it could be somebody
let's go.
calling you, but I was asking you, how soon do you get your kite ready for the season? A week, 2 weeks, 3 days?
It depends. If you're skillful, you can do it in a couple of days. But we started sometime maybe early March.
Mm,
You know, because you're not only making a kite for yourself. For the most part, you got a little brother or a little sister or cousins or somebody that needs a kite. And
okay,
so you're making like, I don't know, 10, 15 kites during the
okay.
time you start to the day that you start flying it. And so it's time consuming, but the experts, when you get to be an expert, you can knock a kite out in a day.
Mm,
There are some kids, it's stringing it, pacing it on, and now the equipment that is available to the kids, you can do it in hours.
yeah. But you had to shave the wood. You had to polish it nice and clean the edges. You had to make sure the bamboo was at the right width and all this good stuff. What kind of instrument you use to shave your wood and prepare that bamboo to form that bow, and then you got to put on that loop and all that other stuff. Take us through those processes.
I didn't do the shaving of the wood. What we did there when I was growing up, you can go to a carpenter shop
Mm-hmm.
and get your kite frame actually the way you want it, the size, the thickness, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we didn't get into that skill, even though it would not have been a difficult thing. When I started, it was point to broom, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And therefore, you didn't have to shave or nothing. You just get a pin, put it
A
in the
pointer
middle,
and a
and
exercise leaf.
right, and some thread that your mother sewed clothes with, and you form the kite, and then you get even sometimes paper bag.
Mm,
You get a nice brown paper bag, and you get the shape of the kite, and you make it that way.
mm-hmm.
Several years later, we were able to get the sophisticated kite covering, like the Barbados paper, which is a thick, colorful paper, different
Mm-hmm.
colors, but it was sort of strenuous. In other words, it could sustain some hits from other kites
Mm-hmm.
and will still continue to fly. And then there was that we call it transparent paper,
Mm-hmm.
different colors again.
Fisky.
Right, you can see right through the paper. Um, for the most part, that was not as sturdy as the Barbados paper
Mm,
and some of the more modern paper covers that they have right now for kites. But it didn't take too long for those who really knew how to do it. And I think the tradition has been passed on so much so that the kids are now the experts. You know,
mm,
they're the ones that now can do their thing, use their vision, and come up with some creative structures that I hadn't seen when I was growing up.
but some folks would have come to you because you present to have this skill, man. This skill. You had a younger brother, perhaps two younger brothers and a friend, Lennox. And I'm supposing they come to you because you present that you have this skill set to make this thing all the way through. So folks were looking up to you, right? I remember in the village, I had friends of mine I didn't quite know because I lived in the city when I moved to West Coast, the Beast. Then I learned about those things. And I had friends who I had to go to and they show me what to do and all that stuff because they were like the specialists. I think you were like the specialist in your community. Don't you agree?
Well, I can't um, acknowledge that. Let me put it
Okay.
that way. However, I think one of the reasons why I may have stood out as it relates to kite making is because of some of my artistic skills.
All right. Tell us about that.
And that when when you know about art and putting colors together and forms together,
Okay.
it becomes a little easier to present something that you develop or you make
Yeah.
because you were putting an artistic touch into it.
So you're
You know,
matching paper
most
colors and all that stuff.
exactly. But you're doing it in such a way that it stands out.
Mm.
And one of the things I learned in art is that it's all in the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Once you see it and you feel it and you understand it, it it becomes so easy. But you have to have the knack for art. And
Yeah.
it's just when I say art, I mean colors,
Yeah.
um, putting forms together in such and such a way that it sort of boggles the mind.
Yeah. I
And so
believe
I
that.
think that's the edge that I had. But in
Mm.
terms of the skill of just cutting paper and putting various papers together and forming a kite, um, everyone that I know could really make a kite. Some of it didn't look too attractive, and that's because of the lack of the art um, in them. But for the most part, it's not about looking at the kite. It's not about the beauty of the kite. It's about whether or not the kite can perform,
Mm.
and that represents knowing how to make the loop so that it can fly
Mount
straight
higher,
and
straight higher,
higher,
right?
etc.
Or it probably can
Matter
make
of,
some nice songs.
yes, well, we had what you call a mountain loop,
Mm.
and we had a pulling loop.
Okay.
A mountain loop, once you jerk the kite, it would go up, it would ascend. A pulling loop, once it hits the breeze, you it sort of takes on a strength of its own. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's the tension on the cord is much stronger than if it was a mountain loop. A mountain loop, the kite just basically floats in the air. A pulling loop, when the wind takes it, it takes it wherever it wants to go. And if you don't have
Wow.
a strong thread or twine or whatever to hold that kite, it's going to burst loose.
So you got to have a strong ball of twine, huh?
Oh, yeah, very strong. I mean, it depends on the size of the
By the
kite. I
kite.
mean,
Okay.
because there are some kites you can make so small that the thread or the string that you try to fly it with is too heavy and it's
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Mm.
So all those kind of skills you need to be aware of and to implement them correctly.
And that's why I think your kite was special because you have this artistic touch to it. But tell me where you get your tail from. Did you tear your mama's dress, the sheet, the pillowcase? Well, how did you get your tail, the cloth? Where you get it from?
Old sheets.
Old sheets.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, old sheets. And a tail is not necessarily just a long string of cloth or whatever.
Okay.
A matter of fact, somewhere in the process of making kites, we learn also to use tails, a thin rope as a
Mm.
tail.
Okay.
And Jimmy was mentioning to you that the bad guys would put a razor blade at the end of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was dangerous. That was dangerous. And for us good guys, we didn't do that at all because that could hurt you. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah.
A kite pitches and come down, and that tail catches you. You might get, you might get some severing of your some part of your body.
Wow, that's serious it was. And so you had a special touch. And you mentioned the word art. I know that you art folks are associated with a skill that you can paint stuff, draw stuff. Have you draw anything, painted anything that is significant, like the cathedrals, the George's Cathedral, the bandstand? What have you
Yeah,
produced?
I've done that. I mean, I have never thought of myself as a very good artist. I
Hmm.
tell you what, though, when I was in school and when I took up art, uh, we had some of us kids that was going to Christchurch Secondary School
Hmm.
would go for art lessons with one of the best artists in Guyana, um, a gentleman by the name of Burroughs,
Okay.
Cecil Burroughs. And we went to Queen's College, and he taught us the fine techniques in art. But basically, I suspect that, I never really felt secure with art. I came to the United States with the intention of being an artist, a commercial artist. However, uh, when I saw the competition, I was in college and in very many art classes. And when I saw the competition, I realized that that was not my calling because what I saw was far more advanced than I think I could ever be. And so I dropped it. But I still maintain uh, the techniques that I knew and that I learned and was able to employ it very many times. One picture that I drew that may still be in Howard University's auditorium is an African woman with a baby on her back. And it was an oil painting that I gave to a friend of mine who then donated it to Howard University. But I am not, the best of artists. I am comfortable with it, and it's taken me very far.
I'm telling you, man, thank you for your handiwork, man. That's why I recognize you have to have some kind of knack for it. But besides that, you were a teacher at some point in your life, right? So you have to nurture people to some extent to to apply some skills. How was your 10 years as a teacher? How did it work out for you, Frankie? And look like I lost him again. Um, Jimmy
Yes,
T.
sir.
Look, folks, I'm talking to Jimmy T, the Experience. He's a DJ on the station WFFR, sunshineradio.com. He is a man I would call a historian in music. And so, Jimmy, you were once a teacher too. Um,
Correct.
and
Correct.
folks, and around this time, you were a teacher over in the United States, right? Not so much in Guyana.
That's correct. I only taught for 2 years in Guyana. First, after I left Queen's College, where I did my secondary education, I taught at Dolphin Government School as a what you call unqualified assistant teacher. That was the title. And uh, I went off to college after that. So I left Guyana at age 19. So most of my life, I've been overseas.
Hmm.
I was away for 6 years, did a master's degree, and I need to tell you, I'm not an artist, but I was an athlete back in the
Hmm.
day. I was a track
Wow.
track athlete. I was a soccer player and a ping pong player
Hmm.
as a youth, and I would say I was outstanding in those sports.
Well done.
Actually at Queen's College, I set a track record in the 80 yards, which is now 800 meters, the under 17 group that lasted 6 years.
Yeah.
And do you remember a guy by the name of Dr. Walter Rodney?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His younger brother, Donald Rodney, broke it. I, I think it's 1982 or 72, I think it was. It lasted 6 years though. But
Hmm.
I was an athlete more than a kite flyer, let's put it that way. Right. So I returned to Guyana after I finished my master's, and I taught for 1 year at the Teachers Training College there, grooming teachers for the primary schools of Guyana.
Hmm.
But I had bigger goals for myself and my family. I decided to migrate from Guyana, and I've been here since uh, 1972, 1971. So I'm more American than Guyanese, if I could use that term.
Awesome.
So the memories of the kite flying have more or less have faded because, as I said, I did this as a youngster, maybe age 9, 10, 11. Frankie did an excellent job. He did. Yeah, I was impressed with his presentation. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Awesome. We
Yeah.
got one of my mentors, one of my friends here in the ATL, Mr. Glenford Sandyford, and it's DJ Sandy from the
Yeah.
Golden Touch movement has joined us.
Okay.
Sherry George, Alicia Cummins, all of you who are coming on in. I hope you're sharing the broadcast. I hope you got some questions for these fellas. And ladies and gentlemen, let me bring to the forefront Mr. Bobby Newby.
All right.
Uh, he's definitely uh, he brings something special. The sound of Easter, the sound of Easter,
Mhm.
and he could bring some flavor about his experience about Easter in Jamaica. And so, let me welcome you first, Mr. Newby, Bobby Newby. Welcome in. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes, my brother. Good evening to each and everyone. Glad to
Evening.
be among you.
Blessings to you, man. Blessings to you. I'm glad you joined. So, Bobby Newby, what was Easter like for you in Jamaica?
Great. I'm still celebrating.
You still,
Today is Easter Monday, so this is the culmination of the entire weekend with the parties on tonight, not until tomorrow morning.
yeah, yeah.
Lots of bun and cheese and all the good stuff, So
Hmm.
yeah, but not even when when I was in Barbados, they celebrated one Easter there. It was interesting. A lot of
Mm.
flying fish and cuckoo and Mount Gay at the time and all of that stuff.
Wow, wow. Can you
You know.
imagine? But Bobby, man, I'm telling you, you are definitely a walk-in library yourself, like Jimmy T the experience. How did music play a role in the celebration of Easter, in your understanding?
Oh, everything. Well, of course, this is when at Easter time, surprisingly, you'd hear a lot of Jimmy Reeves, a lot of American gospel music, Jimmy Reeves and all that. And he was very, very popular in Jamaica. And some of the other American artists who deal with their religious music.
Mm-hmm.
So there'd be a lot of that during from Holy Thursday right back until Easter Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So that you'd have a lot of these the radios at the time would be playing a lot of that, and then from Holy Thursday was when people would be cooking and getting everything ready for Good Friday. With
Mm.
Good Friday was when, well, of course, everybody would escovitch in their fish and making their Easter buns, putting the final touches and everything, because of course, and then Thursday night, some would go to watch night. They call it at the church service, where they
Uh-huh.
do washing of feet and stuff like that, and they get ready for Good Friday, where from 12 until 3, most people be going into church. Watch hour for the watch time for the crucifixion and stuff like that. So then after that, you get ready now. There be no meat on that day for the
Mm.
Christians. Mostly fish,
No
fried fish.
Arnold, no Arnold.
No, no, definitely not. And escovitch fish and I've had seafood, but no meats. And of course, you get they'll have chocolate tea to go with the bun and cheese. That's
Uh-huh.
the main thing to go with that. Then you get ready for Saturday, the whole Saturday, and then whatever is left over, you take care of that and you get ready to get yourself for church again, and then for Sunday. In between that, the children as would be getting ready with our kite. Now in Kingston, it was different from out in the country parts.
Mm.
'Cause in Kingston, like all of the islands,
City.
they are colonized in a way that once you go into one town, if you're aware, you know every street and where to go. I
Mm.
learned that when I was traveling, first time. And so in each of the our capital city, you'll have in Jamaica, you have the race course, which is now the George Fifth Park, and now it's National Park. In Trinidad, you have Queens Park Oval. In Guyana, you had the Oval there also. And
Right.
then in Barbados, they have the Oval. That's how. Then all the streets have been named
Mm.
after, the Queen Street, King Street,
Uh-huh.
Princess Street,
Yeah.
Leo. So
Right, right.
if you notice that. So once
Mm-hmm.
I went into a country, I'd have friends there, and I'd separate from my group, and I'd disappear. And I said, "Where did you go?" And so I went to look for someone. I said, "How do you know the place?" But I said, "It's right there for us. This is Alcalona. This is Kingston. This is Bridgetown. This is Port of Spain. This is Georgetown. See all the trees they're running into each other. It's the same thing. So if I go at King Street, I know I'm going to Queen Street somewhere around this and Princess Street on the other street.
Wow.
So I take the time out to go and visit. But back to Jamaica, I was getting ready for kites. My older brother, may so rest in peace, he taught me how to make kites. So would use bamboo
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes the coal, not the coconut branches
Uh-huh.
to make the kites. And we'd
Mm-hmm.
get all, but most likely one, two, three, four piece of strips and stuff like that, and then the bamboo and so on to go around it, and the pretty
From the loop
paper.
area. Okay.
The pretty paper would get pretty paper and then paste
Mm.
them on and stuff. So and then we'd get you have different styles, of course, and then the small ones, and you have the three ones without tail. You have the box kite to make like a box.
Uh-huh.
So I could make those. My brother could because that more advanced than at that time was too
Yeah.
small.
Yep. They're probably like Frankie. Frankie was the
Yeah,
expert.
there you go. So then would have the beige. The beige guys now is the big ones, the big odious ones, and this have a long tail, and this is the one that you have a lot of English scarred because it was the hardest one to break, hard to
Mm.
cut loose, and then you'd go to the park, the oval, and they're flying, and then sometimes we have others that we with the tail would put razor blades in the tail and start. I don't know if you did that. We started to play cut it.
Oh yeah,
You
Yeah,
start on
yeah.
each side and you see which one can cut away.
yeah.
And of
Mm-hmm.
course, you have around the park, you have the people and Saturday evenings and stuff like that that would selling a lot of snowballs and ice cream, and all of the dainties and cakes and stuff like that. You'd be
Mm.
drinking, but then you have that. Now, come Sunday morning, after those who go to church now and doing the other stuff, everybody would be heading, some would be heading for the beach.
Mm.
It's because we're in Kingston. Kingston is at what, that 10 mile radius.
Very good. Okay.
So where you are, the beach is right not too far away. And then we had some of the better beach, Gunboat Beach, Buccaneer Beach, and some of these. And on one street there, you had about four beaches, one after the other.
Mm.
Doncaster Beach,
Okay.
Bournemouth Beach, where musically, this is where you'd hear a lot of the music bands at the Bournemouth. That's where the Scatolites and Tommy McCook
Mm.
and the Super the Sonics was their base on any holiday, the weekend and so. That would be
Mm.
the main area you go there because there's a pool and there's the another pool out into the sea. There's a land pool and then they have the open sea pool that you can go into, and then there's a big stage there, open stage, that have these dances, and they
Mm,
have movies and stuff like that. And then of course it's a big construction where the upstairs you'd have a big dance hall,
mm,
and then the bands would be playing there, and people were swimming downstairs. And then further down that same street now you have Sagana Beach, and then you have the Sagani and then Barnett Beach. So within, say, a mile, you have 5 beaches
mm.
on the same street. That's the Rockford Road and Windward Road. That's where a lot of the beaches were. And then that would lead you out to the Palisades that would go to the Harbor View area and then take you to the Palisades, which now Norman Manley Airport. And then
Okay.
that same strip, the Palisades, would take you to Port Royal.
Oh,
So if you want to go, and if a lot of folks will be going to Port Royal because families, everybody will be visiting their family and stuff like that. You could take a boat from um, Kingston Harbor, and go across the Port Royal, or if not, you can drive around the south side of the sea, pick up the Palisades, and you drive over to Port Royal. So everybody would be moving back and forth. And of
wow.
course, that's when the big dances would be going, like the early days now. You'd have Tom the Great Sebastian,
Okay.
the B Rockets.
That's what I was going to ask you. What are some of the reggae music that was formed in this time?
Oh
Yeah.
yes, that's that. Because no, I was younger now, so I befallen my sisters and my brother,
Mm.
older brother, because yeah, like a boy, you must know your place, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'd go but during the day they have martinis,
Mm.
and of course that's one way, and all the cinemas, the closed cinemas, they're
Oh.
having martinis for with a lot of these religious movies, the religious movies like the Ten Commandments
Uh-huh.
and all of these things. That was the day, and we had, let me see, one, two in Kingston. You had the Carib, you had the
Okay.
State Theatre, and you have the Regal. They're all enclosed cinemas.
Mm.
All the others were open here,
A
and so
drive-in movie theater.
and then
Okay.
you had two driving, one in Harborview and one
Okay.
in Boulevard.
Harbor
But
View.
they
I've
were
been
open
there.
here, so that is nighttime. You have to go
Mm.
there.
Okay.
But so everybody at a place we're going now. The Keys now. We be at that time. I can't remember. There would be a lot of boogie woogie.
Mm.
Louis Jordan, right, and a lot of the old rhythm matches. Um, so many of them at that time was being played that the Scatolites eventually
Uh-huh.
would interpret it after a while and bring it down to ska.
Okay.
So growing up, so would be as a child, I'd go with one of my sister and my brother because Tom the Great Sebastian was married to my brother was married to my sister, my elder
Mm.
sister. So I would go with them during the day now and go up to the Silver Slipper in Crossroads
Okay.
at that time.
My,
That
my,
was
my
that
folks
was
in Clarendon, Manchester would know what you're talking about.
so, and then they might ask to the battle boy because you're there, and they'd start like around 1 o'clock.
Mm.
And then when we're selling the drinks and stuff, you have to walk around when they finish and pick up the bottles them and put them in the trash.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to stay there, you got to keep yourself
Ah.
busy. So you'll be there, they'll be playing all of these.
but tell me, Bobby, what are some of the reggae music that defined that era? Any names?
No,
Any
this was
special
reggae.
kinds?
No, it
No
wasn't
reggae then.
reggae.
There was
No,
no
no,
reggae
no,
then.
no, no,
Just
no, no.
scan.
No,
Okay.
that
Rock
this is
steady. Not even rock steady.
No, not that time. No,
Wow.
this is Mento,
Mento, okay.
Calypso,
Mm,
right, and the old boogie woogie, early blues. You understand?
okay.
That's and that's I think that's and we had some Jamaican musicians, brilliant musicians. A matter of fact, Tony Carr last night he had gives a good example of what we used to grow up with on his show. And he did a very good job. Because what we were listening to at that time was what we had a public, the government had a public radio. So we call it
Mm,
Jamaica Radio Fusion.
uh-huh.
Radio Fusion. And this is one station. And it'd come on something in the evening and go at nights about 12 o'clock. And they'd be pumping in music from what they want to play, and most of it, of course, was from America or from England. And then a lot of these local artists, they'd be into jazz. Jazz was a big thing in Jamaica at the time. And you
Mm,
name all the big jazz artists, they were either living there a period of time. They came there and stayed. And so, of course, we had top class musicians who were well taught by the Alpha Boys School. So if they brought a musician down, which normally around Easter and Christmas, they'd have one or two big American artists, top artists would come and they have a big show at the Carib Theatre. I remember one year they had the great Sammy Davis came to
mm.
um, what you had Shirley and Lee. Uh, Shirley and Lee, for example, you know who Shirley and Lee was at the time.
Mm.
No, Shirley was one of the top shake, rattle, and roll, and the top singers, a duet. That's some very good slow music.
I'm sure Frankie and Jimmy T and Bobby would know those things, right, Frankie? You would know those artists, right, Frankie?
Vaguely,
Vaguely.
vaguely.
All right, all right. Well, you didn't know about Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis is a popular
Yes,
name. Okay.
rock and roll.
Mm.
For this is in that era.
Okay.
That's when these guys. But this is in the 50s, you know.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going that before the reggae started or the ska started. So we have good. All right. The important thing now. This is when it was beneficial musically for Jamaican because they had the West Indian Regiment,
Uh-huh.
and they used to camp. You'd have the interchange from all the soldiers between all the islands. At one time or another, they'd be coming back and forth. And of course, each one will bring in their culture with um, Bajan calypso. You have Trinidad and calypso,
Mm.
Guyanese music, and all the islands that we bring
Wow.
in their thing to Jamaica. And of
Wow.
course, we had a mentor, and we brought China Trinidad that came in. That's a lot. Some of Kitchener, Sparrow, some of your big Calypsonians. They were all popular in Jamaica
Awesome.
from
Awesome.
any of the islands, and where the music, that everything would gravitate towards Jamaica because at that time we had recording studios there, good and come on because like I'll give you names for example. We had from Trinidad, we had Lord Creator, for example.
Mm.
He had he was one of the big ones and successful there. He had Lord Lauro. They have Lynn Tate. Lord Creator was a big calypso, and he came and he made up one of the best independent songs for Jamaica. And then he had Lord Lauro came and he did it. And later on, he did one we called Disco Mentor Rockers. I don't know if you remember that one. So
Okay. So
his
those
years.
so you said all those sounds were made during Easter time?
No, these when they'd come down and they'd play. They'd come to
Okay.
Jamaica,
Okay.
and then of course they would be bringing their music, and
Mm.
the music would be playing, and they'd be having stage shows.
Okay.
That's the main thing, and you get a chance to see them live and in person. And some would have, of course, they have the big, the
Man.
jazz clubs, like yeah, Club Havana, Club Adastra, from Cuba, because we have Jamaica is just 90 miles from Cuba, so we have a very good relationship between
You
Jamaica
see?
and Cuba,
Yeah.
jammed genealogically and politically at that time.
Yeah.
So
You,
yeah, but
you
we're
see what I'm
moving
telling
back
you,
and
folks?
forth.
Bobby Newby know it all, man. I'm telling you, Bobby, you can talk about our music all along with this stuff. But I'm so glad you joined us. I got to go back to Frankie for a minute
Yes, please.
because yeah, because give you a chance to because when you close your eyes, you going all the way far back to I'm telling you, man, you deep in this music thing, and Bobby and Jimmy and them would know it more than I do. But let
Okay.
me ask you, Frankie, what do you feel that what do you feel when you don't see some of these things that you know back in the days, the same culture today? How do you feel about not carry on the same culture that you grew up to know back in Queenstown there, Albertown area back in your time? What do you think is missing in the culture today, Frankie?
I don't really think lots, would be missing from it. But what I would say is this: teaching the younger generations the art of kite making, um, and the meaning behind it, you know, would ensure that the culture, the legacy remains with us. Uh, you have to teach the children not only flying a kite, how to make a kite, but the meaning. What is the meaning behind kite flying?
Yeah.
It's not just about flying kites in the air. It's about keeping history, it's keeping our faith, and keeping our community alive.
Mm,
Um, you know, Lifting them like the kites themselves. And I mean, lifting the community, lifting the young people like the kites themselves towards heaven
mm,
for generations to come.
mm,
So it's not just about flying kites. It's about teaching them why, the meaning, what we have or what we look forward to
mm.
um, during Easter time, and it's about praising God.
Okay.
It's about knowing that Jesus died for us and was risen,
And if he got up, you
and
can
that's,
too.
to me, the basic reason for the celebration and for flying kites.
Yeah. Because if the kite got up, he got up, you can get up too, right? Right, Frankie? I'm losing your sound again. So Jimmy T, you would say that the meaning, the symbolism to it is if the kite got up, Jesus rose, ascended, we ought to think about picking ourselves up, right? And rise up,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Frankie did a great job, though. I was impressed. Um, as I said, I left Guyana as a teenager, so most of my memory is way back as a youngster. I can't recall everything as Frankie did, right? But
Yeah.
I'm trying to just did the best I could in terms of my memory.
Yep, yep.
But
I know Frankie's doing good. He's the artist, and he
yes,
spent a lot
yes.
of time making these
Hmm.
things, and that's why I want to get you all together so you can piggyback on each other tonight and come together and clash, make that collaborative impact, so that our young ones can know the culture that used to be in your time, so that we can see how far we have evolved from that era of really having some symbolism in flying kites in open pastures, not near wires, Frankie. But I mean one of the things I admire is families getting together, packing lunch baskets,
Yeah.
and going to the park or going to the seawall And Frankie, I'm sure you had experience of that with your siblings getting together with your mom, your parents, and going to the seawall, spending the whole day, perhaps 2 days, perhaps. Tell us about those experiences.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. One day, not 2 days. You can't you can't look up at the sun for 2 days and remain the way you are. Trust me. Um, but we did a lot of. I'm not necessarily in the sea walls because by the time we got there, which was early, I mean, 9, 10 o'clock, it was already congested. We did a lot of golf ground, which
Hmm.
is the ground or the park adjacent to the sea walls. And there you had a lot of trees to give you cover from the sun. You could, even if you had a good spot, sit on that tree and fly your kite. And it was the best experience ever.
Hmm.
Um, but we would go home and come back maybe the next day. I don't think I ever recall seriously flying a kite on the day after Easter Monday, which was a Tuesday or the Wednesday. I think we were back in school the next day anyway. But for that day, and sometimes, well, no, we never did it on Good Friday. There are some traditions that fly their kites on Good Friday. We
Hmm.
didn't do it. Good Friday was more of a holy day, and you stayed at home and you didn't see the road. Anyway, I think that Easter Monday was the day that my family did most of the celebration of flying kites, etc. And it was all day. We got there around 9, 10 o'clock, and we stayed there until 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Go home and call it a day.
Hmm. Your father, I mean, I know, most of our fathers used to be away, and I lost him again. So, so Frankie, we're talking to Frankie DeFlorment and Bobby Newsom and Jimmy T the Experience about kite flying. And looks like Frankie is back with me. For some reason, Frankie, I keep losing you.
Yeah, I keep losing myself,
I,
actually.
I think somebody is having a razor blade on the kite tail and cutting you off on a regular basis, man.
I think I'm getting a message saying that if my camera is being used or I don't know, my microphone is being used, it can't be in two places at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Perhaps somebody is trying to contact me.
Okay, so let me put you through a rapids because you've been for a while with me. Um, so let me get you a rapid question, man, in case you gotta take a call or so. Frankie, I'm gonna take you through rapid fire. You ready?
I am as prepared as I can be.
Okay, deep breaths, deep breaths. I need one answer, one word, or I can let you expound on it. Right? Rapid fire.
Okay.
Favorite kite shape? What would it be for you?
Hexagon.
Hexagon. Okay, we can take that. I don't see folks asking any questions of you guys. Hello, Miss Joy Carell. Hello, Wendy Lane Sampson. GT the boss. Bless up, family. And good night to you, Des with the Florman. Great childhood memories of kite flying on Easter Monday, she says. Alicia Cummings, she got a birthday. Happy birthday to you, my niece. Is everyone off? You can make a pint. Oh, is anyone off? You can make a pint of kite. Yeah, pint of kite, the cardio punch. You remember that, Frankie? That
Yes,
cardio punch, we
yes.
talked about that. All right, you in the rapid fire, Frankie. I'm giving you a chance to catch your breath. Best Easter memory. Which one it is for you?
The day I got blinded by the sun.
Wow. How old were you then?
I could be around 10,
Okay.
age 10.
And that was your best memory.
Well, it sticks in my mind.
Okay.
It
Why was it?
does.
Tell us. I'm going to let you expound on that. Why was it so special that particular time? Were there some more
Well,
beautiful kites than yours?
no, no. When I said blinded by the sun, I
Okay.
mean, kites to me is not the presentation of it. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, there's some beautiful kites,
Hmm.
but I've seen very many beautiful kites never went
Make it
up.
out the ground. Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
So a kite that is up in the air and it's singing like a bird and dancing like a hula hoop dancer,
Mm-hmm.
um, shaking its whatever, its tail,
Ears flapping.
ears flapping.
Okay.
That's enjoyment.
Mm.
That's a good kite. Forget about those that are in the window shops.
Yeah.
You see it and it looks pretty. You know, it got to fly. It got to go up there because it
Right.
has to mimic the ascension of God, of Jesus Christ.
Right.
If
Right.
it doesn't get up there, it's not worth it.
Mm. So you actually saw some people just take back home the kite. It never made it up, huh?
Well, not only that, I mean, it has happened to me. I mean,
Okay.
either the tail is too heavy, and of course, a good person would, or an expert person, like, okay, realize that the tail is too heavy and chop a piece off of it.
Mm.
Um, the loop may not be the right loop. There's not a lot of wind, and therefore, if you put um, a pulling loop on, it's not going anywhere because there's not a lot of wind to take it up there.
Okay.
Oftentimes, though, when you go to the sea walls, you got enough wind.
Mm.
So, what you try to do is make your kite with not a pulling loop, but a mountain loop.
Okay.
And so, with the kind of air, it goes up very fast. You don't even have to jerk it or anything. You just throw it up in the air and let it go. And
Mountain loop.
make sure that you're extending
The ball of
the
twine.
string or the cord or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
because the wind is just going to take it
Wow.
wherever.
So what is the skill in making it the mountain loop and the pulling loop? What is that skill?
It's it's
How many
the
knots?
loop, the loops. It's at the top of the kite. There is a string that comes like a V,
Okay.
and then in the middle of the kite, you attach a string to the
The middle
to the to the to the
pin.
well, not the middle, but I say to the structure of the kite, the
Okay.
middle structure of the kite,
Hmm.
and then affix it to the V.
Okay.
But to be a pulling loop, it has to be almost like a triangle
Okay.
with equal sides,
Hmm.
with a pulling loop, not the V, but the string that comes from the middle of the kite to join the V is
Okay.
shorter.
Oh,
And so that's how you design the mountain and the pulling loop.
awesome. You gotta
But
know that
again, you got
skill.
to know your breeze.
Yeah.
If you don't, when you get there, you can adjust. And for those
Mm.
people who are good at it, they may go there with a pulling loop and realize that, it's not going to make it. Let me
Mm.
try the mountain loop. And you can adjust that.
Okay.
It takes skill to
In
do
these
that.
in these days, Frankie, I think you might have been crying on a Easter time like this for you to spend all that time putting your art, your skills together, and come to find out that it's rain all Easter Sunday, Easter Monday. What happens when the rain falls? Or was it like now, rainfall, Easter
You
Sunday, Easter
know,
Monday?
I've been in Guyana for 21 years of my life. I left when I was 21. I've never remembered, there could have been, but I've never remembered an Easter Monday when it rained and it rained all day to
Wow.
the extent that you couldn't fly a kite.
Mm,
It could have happened, but I just don't remember. Um, and since I left, who knows? I mean, it could have happened where Easter was spoiled. Uh, but I don't know of any Easter Monday where it rained all day.
mm.
Not even while I was in the States. I can't remember that.
Okay.
There may be some folks that can remember that spoiled Easter, but I can't. There's
Okay.
always time on Easter Monday to go fly your kite.
And pack your lunch basket. Awesome.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
was a must. You have to
mm,
have your lunch.
mm. Well, I'm glad that your family didn't mind doing that to ensure that you are satisfied with your skill set because might be just three kites. Yours, Kenneth's, perhaps, and Delmar. Was he a kite fly at the time?
When I left, no, when I left Guyana, Delmar was about 7 years old. He may have just learned how to do it.
How about Lennox,
Lennox, Lennox.
Graham?
My buddy, Lennox Graham. Uh, it's interesting. As families in the community that we lived in, we all went different places. We didn't, as families that knew each other, decide, okay, we're going to go to the seawalls to fly a kite. Each family made their own determination,
Okay,
their own decision, and we went where we went,
okay.
and sometimes the places that you go to couldn't accommodate you and your family, so you had to choose another spot.
Mm, okay,
Uh, but it's interesting that when I mentioned Lennox, or when you mentioned Lennox, I could recall a couple of things. We also had what we call the dam. The dam was a stretch of land between North Road and Cummins Street.
mm,
And we fly our kites there too. After school, before Easter began, after Easter ended.
mm,
And that's where friends congregate to fly their kites and maybe to go into a competition in terms of whose kite looks the best,
sung the better, goes higher.
right, sounds the better,
Mm,
and so on and so forth. But on Easter Monday, it was a family affair and not necessarily a community affair.
awesome. You're still in rapid fire. I'm just taking some extras from you. Seawall or national park? Which one would it be?
It depends which one can accommodate us.
Okay, okay.
um, National Park is larger. The seawalls is better in the sense that it has the most breeze, or you get the most breeze for your action.
Mm,
Um, the parks not that much, but you have the advantage in the parks of getting cover, um, having a nice grass patch to sit on
okay,
if you're tired of standing. You got trees and so on and so forth. Um, on the seawalls, you had vendors where you didn't necessarily have to carry your lunch or whatever. You
okay. You
buy
could buy some roti
whatever
and curry and some egg
exactly
ball
right
for
there, right.
Laurie. Mm,
But most of the times you're standing because it's either you're standing on the seawall itself or you go down in the sandy part if the tide is not really up.
okay.
And you can't sit there basically because it's wet.
Okay.
But there's advantages in both seawalls and national park. And
Mm,
like I said, whatever accommodates you the best, that's where you go.
awesome. We can take that, folks. Any questions for Frankie DeFormant? He is Frankie DeFormant. He is an artist, was a teacher also in Guyana, and he's given us some wisdom on his memories on kite flying in Guyana, South America. Frankie, you're still in rapid fire. Biggest kite you ever made?
Wow. It was taller than I was. And I'll show you this. There's some kites that are twice the size of the individual that made it.
Mm.
And I don't know if you can see this,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh,
where
nice.
the guy is about a little more than half the size of his kite.
Mm.
So it can get 10, 11 feet, maybe 12,
Wow.
which
Gotta have
could
good
be double your
shoulders.
size.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you better not put a pulling loop on it because it may take you up with it.
Yeah. You might be ascended with your kite.
Exactly, exactly. And you don't want that.
Yeah. You want to go at your own volition. But you are still in rapid fire. I got two more for you. Ever cut someone's kite, Frankie?
No, I didn't play that. I did not play that. You mean putting a razor blade at the end of
Yeah.
the? No, 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 no. It could be very dangerous. I mean, you might try to have a kite fight, and the intent is to cut the other person's kite.
Mm.
But when a kite is pitching and out of control, you never know what can happen.
Okay. Okay.
And I've
Well,
never witnessed any serious accidents, but you don't you don't try to do something like that because it could be dangerous.
I'm so glad it was not mischievous, Frankie. Thank you so much. There is a song with you in it, that I play, and when I play it, Gwen Fredericks like to dance to it. Oh, Frankie, you know that one, Frankie? I was
Oh yeah.
walking down the street one day, and you weren't like that, Frankie, were you?
That was my 75th birthday. Um, what would I call it? I came out on that song.
Awesome. Why, Frankie? Why?
Why? Because I'm Frankie.
So I need to come out with my song. You ain't see nothing like the mighty Queen,
Quinn.
right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Okay. All
yeah.
right. I need to work on that one. But Frankie, one word for kite flying for you. One word.
I would say, let me think about that. I would say family
Family. Okay. Expound.
and community.
Mm.
It's something that has brought families together, the community together, and
Mm.
perhaps even countries like Guyana. I mean, every single person that I know have a kite experience
Mm.
coming from Guyana.
Wow.
Every single I mean, it's what everybody knows. It's not something that is only religious and that only Christians do it.
Mm.
It's universal as it relates to Guyana. Every single person, every single culture wrap
Mm.
their arms around kite flying.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's universal.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Frankie de Florman, for coming on in and talking to me about your experience, your memories, your good memories on kite flying in Guyana, South America. I really appreciate your time, and I know you can stick around with me, but just in case you got to take a call or anything, you can dip out and come back in. I'll be here to put these other folks through some rapid fire. So you, just to call you in the hot seat, they're going to be in one too. I think you did well. We have to give Frankie a hand for that. Don't you agree? Joy, Wendy, Desiree, Alicia. What do you think? What do you think about Frank? Any questions for Frankie before he dips out? Sherry George, good night to you. And my friend William Harper, Wise Digital One. Lavorne, any questions for Frankie before he gets off of this segment? Any question, Gwen? Onika, Borna, any questions, Abiola? Frankie's here with us and he got some memories. He can definitely shed some light. If you have a son that wants to make a kite, Frankie's a man you ought to see to teach how to make that mountain loop, that pulling loop, that swinging loop, and how the kite can make wonderful songs and what not to do with the tail and where to get a tail from. Because I know for me, I used to take my mom's old dress and strip it down in the middle and put it on there and add two to it. I know about the folk, but my mom had some dress I could tear off the hemming and she wouldn't know, and I make my tail with it. Or there might be some bedding somewhere that I would tear it off and make my tail And sometimes I would put some razor blade at the end because some guys put it on there. So why not? If you're gonna cut my kite, I'm gonna cut yours. That's how we roll. But I never really willfully cut somebody's kite. But I was prepared that if you come close to me aggressively, I got something for you. You know what I mean, Frankie? Yeah,
I do, I do.
I'm being proactive, if you know what I mean. Yeah, especially when you ain't got a big brother to fight for you, you got to be proactive. You understand? So I gotta, defend myself with my kite. But late at night, you could hear kites singing behind the house, and people tie it on the banisters, and it's up there all night. And next morning, it's there, and some folks will show off because they can do it better than you. And it's a good challenge. Carly, remember those days in number 5, West Coast of Beast? But we had wonderful days as children, using our hands to make things. Nowadays, folks are using their phones to do stuff, but we made stuff. I mean, I had a whole band with my village of friends. I used to blow the flute with a papa stem. We used to take the cork and saucepan and make drum set and all manner of stuff. These kids now, you get them a chance in the car, they're on the phone. They don't think about what they can make with their hands, most of them. And so I'm liking it that we are able to talk about those good experiences that we would have had making kites, and looking forward to the Easter celebration. So thank you, Frankie, for coming on in and giving it to us, man. Anything else I didn't ask you? Think you want to tell me, Frankie?
I think I have exhausted, not only my knowledge, but I've exhausted my experience in terms of what I've done. I can say that being in the United States, it was easy for me to depart that type of lifestyle because it is not necessarily very attractive in this country.
Hmm.
Even Guyanese who might migrate to the United States sort of forget about it because
Hmm.
Easter Monday is not, if you see one or two kites in the skies wherever you are, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I you know I we just for some reason or the other adapt the American way of living, and that is not, Easter is not kite flying in America. Matter of fact, on Easter Monday, you better get yourself to work on
Hmm.
time in America because it's not a holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can only say that I am proud of the Guyanese people and for the way they have um, procured this tradition. I know it will last perhaps forever, even though nothing does last forever.
Hmm.
But as long as Guyana, I suspect, is a nation, we will cherish kite flying and Easter Monday. And of course, we need to remember that the link is not just about flying a kite, the link is about the ascension of Jesus Christ, which is the
Awesome.
most important message that I can provide to the listeners and to those Guyanese population individuals that remain in Guyana. Keep up the good work.
Awesome. Coming from you, man, that's awesome. Thank you so much for keeping the culture and letting us know that we need to maintain that. And so thank you for succeeding in your rapid fire and for all the wisdom you dropped on us right here at Forefront today. Mr. Jimmy T, the experience.
Yes, sir.
I know you're listening to your program. Yours is played from 9 p.m., right?
Sound right now, correct.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me take you through a rapid so you can get on back and listen to that. Jimmy T, deep breaths for me. Deep breaths, okay? This
Excellent.
is rapid, right? One word, or I might expound on you to give me some extras, okay? Sunrise or sunset kite flying? Which one would you to choose that? Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise, okay. Any reason why?
I had a nice overnight rest, so the body
Okay.
is fresh.
Okay.
You know, sunrise. I mean, sunset. You're tired. So you want to go home, have dinner or whatever.
Right.
But
Awesome.
Frankie
Awesome.
did an excellent job, I must
You
say.
did.
He
Yeah.
expounded on everything. There's nothing else I can add to that.
Oh no, don't tell me. I got questions for you, Mr. Jimmy T. The experience. Favorite Easter food, sir?
Oh boy, I got you. You have me stumped because, as I said, uh,
Is it okra and shrimps?
I'm a chicken person.
Chicken. Okay. Is it
Yeah,
curry chicken
yeah.
or chicken curry?
It doesn't really matter. Chicken,
Okay.
barbecue chicken, roast chicken doesn't matter as long as it's
Okay.
chicken.
A lot of this chicken. All right. How about music? Music or silence while flying a kite? Which one you prefer?
Music, of course.
Okay. All right. It's in your blood, your DNA from
Yeah,
way back then. Okay.
I learned to play the
Music,
piano.
of
I
course.
learned to play the piano at age 5,
Okay.
and at Queens College Music Appreciation throughout the 9 years I was there. So
Hmm.
music is in my blood.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Let me see. The biggest crowd you remember?
Whilst I was playing,
Yeah, while you were playing or at a kite flying season, just tell us of one
oh,
biggest crowd you experienced.
I would say probably Carabana in Toronto, 1989.
89 Toronto.
Guyanese gathering. You know,
Okay.
there's so
Okay.
many of them. So
Yeah.
53 years I've been doing this now. So
Okay. How many years?
53.
53 years. Thank you so much. A
Mm,
lot of babies were probably conceived through your DJ skills, right? You
who
think?
knows? Who knows?
Have any got kids that you think were conceived in your time as a DJ?
I can't recall.
Okay.
I can't recall.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you for your service. One word for Guyana Easter. One word for Guyana Easter.
Keep celebrating.
Yeah,
Never stop.
never stop.
It's strict.
Oh,
It's it, to be honest with you, it's a blessing that we're raised in Guyana because it doesn't happen over here.
mm,
The kite flying is like recreation over here. It's
yeah,
unfortunate that it's not celebrated the way we do it, in Guyana. You know,
yeah. Well, that's my purpose. I'm bringing to the forefront things that people
yeah.
have forgotten, or marginalized, ostracized, and trying to just adapt to new cultures. What happened to our culture? Our culture is rich, right? Isn't it?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
one more question, Mr. Jimmy T. The experience. Uh, the experience. Tell me, the experience means what? As in Jimmy T. The experience. The experience means what?
Of music over the years.
Okay.
My collection started from 1961, and it covers all genres of music.
Uh huh.
There's 1940s, 1950s, rock and roll, reggae, soca, calypso, dancehall,
Uh,
lo- lovers rock.
mm,
I have some hip hop, but I'm not so much into the hip hop
mm.
but strictly the classic music that will last forever. Easy listening music, for example. I
Awesome.
love easy listening music.
Easy listening music. A lot of DJs plays lots of music, but they can't dance it. Can you dance it, Jimmy T?
Sure, I
Can you
can
dance
dance.
all types of genre music you play? You can dance it.
Of course.
Okay, so you can move to the soca rhythm. You can ska. You can do the
I was a,
reggae.
I was an athlete. I used to run,
What?
play soccer. So I still go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I
Wow.
exercise regularly, so I stay active
Awesome. Awesome. You could actually break dance too.
if I have to.
Oh, be careful, Jimmy T. We don't have spare parts to replace yours if something got broken now, okay?
Correct,
We
that's
need to
correct.
preserve you, man, okay? Thank you so much for your
Appreciate
time, man.
appreciate
And
the interview. Appreciate
I
it.
know there might be something else you want to tell us. You have a program happening right now, playing
That's
right
right.
now. Tell us about it.
The Legend Show is on twice a week,
Okay.
Mondays and Thursdays from 9 to 11 p.m. And then there's the Jimmy T Untouched Show on Tuesday night,
Okay.
also from 9 to 11 on WFFR Sunshine Radio. So, folks, feel free to log on. You'll probably hear something that you like. I'm sure you'll hear something that you know because I play strictly the classics that last
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, you definitely ought to log on into www.wffrsunshineradio.com.
Yes,
It's
yes.
playing right now, and that's what you hear in the background. That is the legendary Jimmy T, The Experience. You guys, some of you hear the music, but you don't know the man. That
Okay,
is him, Jimmy
thank
T, The
you very much for
Experience.
the
Thank you
opportunity.
so much for your time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bless you, brother.
Have a
All
blessed
right.
have a blessed
You
night.
too now. Enjoy.
One love. All
All
right.
right, Mr. Newbie, are you here with me? Let me unmute you, man. Let me unmute you because you're forgetting I'm telling you, man. Every, meeting you and your wife is always a pleasure, man. I can learn so much from stuff. Your wife is such a happy-go-lucky lady. She don't mind showing us her skills. Where is she, man? Say good night for
she,
me.
she's right here.
Say good night for me, man. She's such a lovely lady. Man, she is fit. She is fit. She'll make those young ladies look real bad, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But thank you guys for always being so kind and loving and friendly with us, man. You guys are some of the reasons why I stay around Maryland because of your friendship. Thank you so much.
Oh my God! Hey, go ahead. Flattery will get you somewhere.
No, I mean, I got to add Bobby and his wife too with that. And then the deployments. I got to add Frankie and the folks too. So not just you, right? But definitely you and your wife are some lovely people. But this is Easter time, and you don't escape my rapid fire. You told me a lot about your background in music, and you talked about the music that was normally heard in Easter time and your time. But what are we losing culturally now in this Easter season?
Well, as my brethren before said, when you come to this country, you get so detached because of the system.
Mm,
That cohesiveness that we grew up with in the islands is gradually taken away from us
mm,
by movements and rapid transfers from here and there. So we don't get a tight community
mm.
that we could say that we would hold us together. For example, like the Chinese community, right? They have the Chinatown, and they can have when they have their New Year's, and so they'll have the kite flying stuff and all of these parades and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to maintain that thing, right? And they make some good kites too, and so with that, we lose touch with one another. The only good thing about it, really, is that music always unites us. That's the only thing that keeps us really together,
Wow.
armed with one another, more than anything else. That is what keeps our spirit and our resilience together, and assertiveness,
Mm,
more than any other thing that we have. Because, as I said, wherever you go, we can always identify ourselves by the
yeah.
music we react to.
Mm,
We have that closeness and that cultural structure that holds us all together.
yeah. Yeah.
Because and that transcends everything else.
Mm,
Transcends every other thing. There are all the other cultural stuff that we have that was given to us, imported to us, I should say, gradually fade away
mm-hmm.
because of the structure. Because right here at home, as in Guyana, they have the same problem too. The kite situation is not as prominent as it was in our days when
Okay.
the skill was is when we were taught how to make the kite ourselves.
Right.
Then when we go to the park and to be with the family, because that was one of the time of the year that we really get a chance to meet with all of our family members, our cousins, our
Mm,
aunts, and
yeah.
everybody. They're
Yeah.
there. And the key was there, of course, to show off who can make the best kite and who can
Yeah.
do the best of this, who
A
can do.
skill set. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that at least once a year, that's not Christmas, not even Independence, but this had Easter. That was the key element that brings everybody together. But and of course, because we have holidays from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Mm.
So it's extended now. As our Virgin said that here the holidays are really not holidays because
Yeah.
it's a day off,
Hmm.
and the religious attitude is not practiced like it
Mm.
has been practiced under the old colonial system.
Okay.
So that creates that void among us. But
Mm.
but regardless of that, the music always stands out
Yeah. Yeah.
because when we're flying kites in Jamaica and stuff like that, here in Kingston, the pleasure was it. But my fun was when somebody would make the kites and they put on the wrong threads,
Yeah. Yeah.
strings,
The string. Yeah.
and then the a puff of heavy wind. It goes up too high
Mm.
and it breaks. It
Uh-huh.
got busted, and you have to run it down and pick them up. And of course, you get it. I say, well, you have to pay a fee to get it back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in somebody's tree, somebody's yard.
Yes,
All right.
yes. And then the other part is no when they get back at you. When my brother and my father, they would make these big badges, these big kites, like
Yeah.
right, of course, and and they'd be tall as I am at the time, sometimes 5, 6 foot,
Mm.
and you start to fly that thing, and once they get it up into the air, it's way up there, and they come
Yeah.
and come here, boy, um, hold the kite. Fly the kite from me for a while. Let me go get something and things like
Come-
that. And when it gets
yeah.
into it, it's flying nice. But then here comes the higher it goes, it's the more wind is under the thing. You understand?
Right. Right.
And you are there and you're letting out, and it's going higher and higher and higher. And as he said, the the knots that you have to keep the kite going. It depends. If you put it a certain way, it will fly horizontal far away from you. If you
Right.
make it closer, it go high above you.
Mm.
So you have to know what you're doing. So and then if you have it the V shape and it's going away and it start to drag. Oh, you are the youngster. That I mean,
You got to have that skill.
you're so carried away by looking at it, and yeah, you might start at this point, and when you
Yeah.
look here in the middle of the park, and nobody around you,
What an experience, man.
and you have to start crying out.
Yeah.
They put a bigger foot.
Wow.
You know, that was one of the fun. But that's how the members would get together and say, "Yo, man, what you trying to do?" And then, of course, luckily for us, if we are in the park, we'll be away from the around the park where they have the electrical wires and stuff
Mm.
like that. You wouldn't be in any danger
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the wind would be going one way. And this was a good form of teaching aeronautics
Aeronautics. Okay.
as we were growing up, because it'll tell you of the wind direction and how far
Mm.
it will go
The
and all
learning
of that. And then
experience.
right, and
Okay.
then you must remember in Jamaica now we are right on the equator, just about, and around July, August, and in May, April, May would be the windy months.
Okay.
So the wind will be coming across the island, the trade wind, so to speak.
Mm.
So trade winds coming across the island, it will. That's when you get that nice breeze, especially
Mm.
in the afternoon. So
Wow.
I'd be better to fly from like 2 o'clock in the day, right back to about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the morning everything will calm. You wouldn't have
Wow.
enough breeze to give you a good. lift. But after that, it starts to pick up after noon. You know, the fun of your life. You know, and they're just putting it together, and sometimes even patching the kite because you know we made what we used to call pretty paper
Yeah,
in
yeah,
different
yeah.
colors. You have to get all the starch, put the patterns in it, and set it up and all of that thing. You know, to get it
Yeah,
ready. And
yeah.
once you get that going, and you get your real tail, you'll have that. But at the other bigger kites like the daddy Ghana kites and the oxygen kites and stuff like that.
Mm.
Those nice, what call them box kites, you know, but it lacked the symmetrics of the delta shape or the pentagon shape
Uh-huh.
that you could really use and get a lot of lift. And of course, the singing kite, and that's a little trick you put on the tail, and when the wind hit it, it's spread it out and start to give you that humming. So
Mm.
now, if you get little petals, like you get those, we have pennies, cut the pennies make a hole in the pennies and hook it on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that caterpillar, when it's the start to, then you start to let out and bring in the kite. And then you make your music, yeah, giving it all these different sounds.
Man, talking about songs, man.
Yeah.
Bobby Adams from the WFFR Sunshine Radio proudly and affectionately call you the musicologist, man. And you have a segment with him tomorrow from 2 to 6, the 2 to 6 Super Mix. Tell us about that. What you do on that 2 to 6 Super Mix with Bobby Adams, my founder leader here in this station, WFFR SunshineRadio.com.
Well, my good brethren, I give him as much assistance as I can, and whatever knowledge I've acquired over the years, I
Mm,
pass it on, you know, because we're in the forefront of the struggle from the beginning, and just we have been through the fire,
mm.
you know, and work around because I think I was doing DJing for 10 years straight.
Okay.
Yes, and
You're a DJ Bobby too.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had the baddest and the best.
Okay. All right. Well,
So,
listen. Yeah.
so we
So
had
you.
that in itself. It was an accomplishment because at that time, a business usually they say that, especially clubs, within 3 years, if you're not turning over, it's gonna
Mm,
die.
mm,
And to be around for 10 years, you know, we were doing something well, and then we saw the end results.
okay.
All the different clubs that came about at one time, and everybody was jamming and jiving. But that time it was a different type of atmosphere we're into. You know, you have house parties,
Yeah.
and just about everywhere.
Mm,
You know, and but things and times have changed, and I've got the influence of. I'm going to be very nice about it and just say bad manners
uh-huh.
from some of us. We try and do these salutes, legal salutes, and all of these things, and crashing parties and stuff like that.
Mm,
It killed the impetus, and of course, the powers that be,
yeah.
they use these opportunities to try and tone us down. And of course, first of all, we cannot play music loud. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot do this. All this, a lot of restrictions,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that created thing. But we still persevere.
Mm,
But um, Bobby himself, he's great, one of the
mm,
best, if
of
not the
course.
best. Of course, you have Jimmy T.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one of the veterans and legend, Lulu.
Mm,
You know, and yeah, Dalton, Ace Dynamics.
mm,
Yeah, well, a lot. They have among the Mighty Queen and all the others.
Well, thank you very much. I'm still learning from you guys. You, Double Bobby and Jimmy T
You
and
know,
Sandy, Golden Touch, and
in
all these
touch,
guys.
all of those brothers, no, I'm glad to see they have the DNA, they have the uh, uh, um, organization now. They play the DJs association
Okay.
with the big sounds.
Yeah.
And that is good. That is keeping the culture good. And the thing about it, I was fortunate to be a judge at one of them. Was the year before last, and the quality and the diversity of the music that they brought there was something to be heard.
Mm.
And the company, I think it was won by one of the songs from Guyana, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And but it was well put together, and of course, it's very innovative in that all the latest advances in the music industry and the sound is
Mm.
on display there.
Okay.
Because a lot of folks do not realize having a sound system, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Folks see
Have
the
folks
end
a
product.
lot of
Yeah.
money.
Mm-hmm.
And well, luckily now, with the improvement in the broadcasting of music and playing music, you can go online and you can download this, download that. But before, as you
Yeah.
know, you have to be packing up with these boxes and boxes
Yeah.
of music
Crates and amplifiers and crates
and have the
and records and
records.
I'm telling you. But
And, but so I'm going to be biased. I still prefer my vinyl.
your vinyl.
I can do the mix that any good DJ can do the mix that you want to do.
Mm.
You understand? Without dependent on the machine.
Oh.
I'm not hitting the machine and so no, it's good. But the mixing that that you can actually put inside it.
Mm.
I should say the humanness,
Yeah.
right? Or the
Got
emotion you can
human
put
touch
in,
to it.
yeah,
Okay.
in it. You
Yeah.
cannot get it from the machine.
That's speaking of culture, man. Let's talk about this cultural analysis. Why must we, preserve both the music and the traditions, Bobby?
Well, well, but, hey, one never knows. One never knows. You must never throw away the old for the new, as old time folks used to say. One never
Mm.
knows when you have to revert to it. You understand? But it's always good to have it because this is where everything comes from.
Okay.
And it's always there to have it. And it was to show what went into doing the things that we are doing now.
Mm.
Because it's still there, and
Yeah.
it might and it's they might say it's maybe antique, but I tell you, in Australia, in Japan,
Mm.
in Russia now, I understand, and Germany, this is what they play.
Mm-hmm.
They're not into the electronic stuff here. They're into the vinyl and the sound system setup that's kicking up all over.
Mm-hmm.
But but that I guess as the transition goes along, this might be a prelude of what is yet to come.
Mm-hmm.
But it is all there. But here again, this is what keeps us together.
Mm.
Anywhere in the world you go, we can work ourselves out by our music.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it means.
I'm telling you, man. With a few moments I have left, Bobby Newsom, man, it's always good to have you, the stalwarts, you, the wisdom, to come in and talk to us, young people, about what experiences you had over the years, especially during Easter time. But no one escapes rapid fire, even you, Bobby. You don't escape rapid fire. Not because I, not because you're kind and friendly, you and your wife. You go through rapid fire too. So, so are you ready?
Hold on, let me put that, let me get my armor up.
No, I'll be
Put on
nice
a
to
good
you.
defense.
I'll be nice to you, Bobby. You've been a good guy. Roots or lovers rock, Bobby? That's easy one. Roots or lovers rock? Which one would you choose?
Roots are lovers rock. Well, everything comes from roots, so I have to stick with the roots.
Okay, stick to the roots. All right.
Yes.
One artist for Easter vibes. You think it's
What
relevant for Easter vibes? One
is
artist.
one artist? Well, unfortunately, is no longer with us.
Okay.
Is
Is
no
that
longer is not with us anymore.
who would that be?
Um, the great Jackie Edwards, Wilfred
Jackie
Edwards,
Edwards. Okay.
Jackie Edwards.
Mm.
Great, one of the greatest Jamaican Caribbean artists
Mm.
and writer too, because a lot of people do not realize he used to, the Beatles
Okay.
used to sing some of his songs.
Oh,
Yep, yep.
okay. So
But
Jackie Edwards, may
Jackie
his soul
Wilfred
rest in peace. I
Edwards.
got some good music with him.
Oh yes,
Um,
yeah,
he's
and
very versatile.
oh yes, very versatile. May his soul rest in peace. But
Yeah.
well, not because I knew him very well, but his style
Mm-hmm.
was so good, and behind the scenes, it taught a lot of other musicians what to do. In fact, Miller Small,
Mm.
Miller Small, he was one of the um, instrumentals to her. You know,
Okay.
when they went to England. But why I said because it's songs. If you get one of his albums, old albums, and go through it, and he was doing everything at the time. He could, and a showman is one of
Mm.
those um, uh, smooth
Yeah.
and suave singer. He didn't have to move about on the stage too much. His voice and
Yeah.
his lyrics
Captivating.
carry him through.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Mm. Music or kite first? Which one would you choose? Music or kite?
Well, one fly high and one stay grounded and rooted.
Okay.
So I stay with the rooted one.
Then
Music.
music it is for you, huh? All right. Awesome. So let's go to another one. I got three more before I let you go. Best decade for culture.
um, the 60s.
60s.
And I want because that's the groundwork for well for the soca,
Okay.
from calypso to soca, from ska, from mental ska, rocksteady.
Mm.
You understand that?
Okay.
That's and culturally, as I said, that's the time when um, this Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile
Mm.
Selassie the first.
Okay.
He came to the Caribbean. He went to Trinidad
Okay.
and he visited Jamaica. And why I say that, I studied in Barbados. Yeah, but I marched through. They came in March, and I have a break at Easter break, and I left Barbados and came home so I could witness this historic occasion.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of things that went on, and I let the big bands came in to play. With of course Ed Watson, and
Right.
those big guys in Trinidad, and we the culture was shifting because the music was getting into all of the other islands now,
Mm.
and the artists.
Mm.
And then a touch of rocksteady was going down because when I was in Trinidad and Tobago at that time, in Trinidad you didn't have at the carnival. There's no reggae music.
Mm.
Or rocksteady was strictly pan music, calypso, and stuff like that. And of course, Barbados, they'd have their little thing, carnival thing, and they tried to bring in the spooge, and of course, Guyana was doing their thing. A matter of fact, one of the best exponent for Guyana music to Jamaica, he just passed away. This week, yeah. Jackie Estic.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of him. Yes,
Ah,
he was very instrumental in our music in Jamaica, and he used to work with Studio One, the great Studio One.
okay.
He used to do the doxology and the liner notes
Mm,
for Coxsons. Plus, he was a singer in his own right.
mm.
Yeah, Jackie Estey.
Jackie
Yes,
Estic.
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Gotta look that
Mhm.
one up. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. You see, you see, what I gotta talk to you more. And next time I'm talking to you, I'm gonna get you a phone stand so you can be stable because your phone is moving a lot. Your phone is moving a lot for you there. What you have
Okay,
it on? Let me
okay,
see
my brother.
what what you got your phone on.
That's just regular.
Okay, you holding it in your hand or it's on the table?
Oh, it's in my hand.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Oh, that's that
I
moving.
gotta get you steady next time. But
Oh,
so far, I'm not worried about that because you're spitting some wisdom and you're giving us some good information. But one word for reggae. One word for reggae.
alive.
Alive.
Living.
Come again.
Long live reggae music.
Long live reggae music. Okay. Now I can't see you now. I can't see you now. So
Oh,
let the folks see you good.
okay.
Um, long live reggae music.
Yes.
You want to try again? Give me one word. One word.
Live.
Live. All right. All right. I'll take that. And to complete this sentence, culture is
Pass it on.
pass it on. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking to the legendary Bobby Newson.
Newbie.
And newbie, that's right. And it's been a pleasure him bringing some wisdom, talking to us about Easter and music. He's a musicologist. He'll be on Bobby Adams' show tomorrow, 2 to 6, right here on our station, www.wffrsunshineradio.com. This is the Forefront Today, a separate channel by me to bring you those information, those agencies, those services that people overlook. And I'll be coming to you, yes, you. I'll be talking to you in your neck of the woods. I spoke to you, Rhonda Ben. I'm going to be talking to Sharon Barnwell sometime soon, and Wendy Lane Sampson. Those of you, William Harper, I'll be coming to you. I spoke to Gigi George. I'll be coming to all of you because some of you have some giftings and talents that you guys are ignoring, and our young ones need to know about that. I don't worry about numbers, love, and likes on Facebook because I know folks go back afterwards and listen to what we talk about, Bobby. And so, thank you so much for the wisdom you dropped. And I know I might have overlooked some things I should have asked you. So, is there anything else you want to share with the listening audience before I let you go and join my friend for some rest that you so deserve, Bobby?
Well, let me repeat one of my good friends. It says, "Stick by me, and we'll stick by you."
Mm, stick by me, and I stick by you. Don't get me started now, man. I love karaoke. Well, since you stay with me, Bobby, what message do we send to the younger generation?
um, Always long. There's an old saying. I like to give a little proverb sometimes. They said, "Longest liver sees the most."
Longest liver sees the most.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, and that, in other words, listen to your elders, and you learn the most.
Mm,
And then that once you know your past, you can know who you are, so you can
mhm.
determine your future.
Future. Awesome. And I always say, know what you don't know, so you know what you don't know,
No,
right? Know what you don't know,
so,
right? Learn what you
yes,
don't know from us, so that you know what you don't know.
do it. Very
And
good.
so, Bobby, how do we revive kite flying culture in the diaspora?
Well, I think that I knew at this time of the year, I think somewhere around this time, they normally have a big kite flying thing down in the mall.
Mm,
And they should take close attention, pay some close attention to it, and see who are the organizers
okay.
for one thing, and then do it. And then when we have, and sometimes we're at fault because we have a tendency to get as so assimilated in the different culture. Well, it's an offshoot of colonialism. anything local to us is never good. It's always something foreign. We always
Mm,
um, gravitate towards. But these things, about through the embassies that we have and the associations, local, we highlight these things and have functions where we can invite everybody to come out and do it. Not
mm,
just during the summer when we have a jam here and a party here and a party there, but like highlight these things and maintain this culture.
yeah.
You know, maintenance of our culture is one of the most important thing that we have, but we're not exercising it,
Mm,
and then we get caught up and we lose touch.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you don't practice what is inside of us all the time, you eventually lose it.
Mm,
Not actually lose it, but you let it slip by you until certain thing happen. Then you say, "Oh, I should have done that, and I should have been doing this."
mm,
But that's the important thing. Culturally, we have our culture from the Caribbean is enormous and awesome,
mm,
awesome. And well, I think I might be an exception to the rule because I was fortunate to study in most of the islands. But when you look at it, every one of those islands is
mm,
home to me. And if you go to this one here, it's the same thing you see over there, and it's the same knowledge which we're passing on to each other.
yeah, yeah.
There's no, as I said, it's just you're in Guyana as by mistake. I'm in Jamaica by mistake. I could have
Mm,
been, it could be the other way around.
yeah.
We had
Mm,
no thing in doing that. Somebody else stood and said, you go here and you go there.
mm,
But it's all in our DNA. All in our DNA. Man, I can't imagine the amount of music that we have, the different, it's basically the same thing, but it's the different styles.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. No
Mm.
else in the world you find that.
Miss Onika Grant is saying, great memories. He is sharp. Bobby, I think you are sharper than a two-edged sword, man. And something is keeping your mind so sharp. Give me the recipe, the remedy, what do you do to keep your mind so sharp, Bobby? What's your wife saying in the background there?
Ah, let that tell you. Tell you.
Brandy,
What's that? What's he said?
Brandy.
Brandy. Brandy.
It's not branded.
Awesome.
No, no, no.
You know, my aunt lived to 92 years, and I asked her, I said, Auntie, what do you do? I mean, what do you do? She was a pastor too,
Uh-huh.
run the Unity Church there in Georgetown. God
Oh,
rest her soul. And I said, what do you do to stay young and stay sharp? She said, son, every night I take a glass of Bailey's with some nice ice cubes. I said, Auntie, I need to learn to do something. Everybody have to have something they like outside of their normal self. People don't have balance in life no more, Bobby. They don't have that balance. So, so
but
is it
I
brandy?
did that's what you said. No, I didn't say
You know,
that.
what do you say, Bobby? What you
Well,
use? Ginkgo? What do you use?
no, no, no. But what keeps me going? Surprisingly, it's the culture.
Your culture,
Yes,
your
my
passion
culture.
for culture.
Oh yes, oh yes,
Okay,
oh yes.
awesome, man. I've been
That
talking
that's what
to
that's what keeps me going.
yeah, Bobby Newby. I'm so glad that you came on, and Bobby Adams was supposed to come on in. Speedy recovery to him. He said he wasn't too upbeat for it tonight, but you definitely come on in and fit in for him, and you brought some wisdom. I appreciate your presence, man, and all the knowledge and nuggets you dropped. And on
Well,
behalf of all the viewers at Forefront today, thank you so much for coming on in and leaving some good wisdom with us.
well, on behalf of Bobby, I hope I did him some justice in his
Yeah,
absence.
yeah. Thank you so much once again, and hello and good night to you and your darling wife.
Okay, my brother. One love
Bless
and one
you
heart.
every time, man. Folks, I've been talking to Bobby Newby, Mr. Frankie the Floorman, and Jimmy T the Experience. Bobby Adams was supposed to come on in, and I hope that he recovers well. This has been a pleasure bringing it to you to the forefront tonight. We didn't just talk about kites. We talked about family, culture, legacy, identity, and music. From Georgetown to Buxton to Jamaica to the diaspora, the message is clear. Don't let the kite fall. Keep it flying. Keep it rising. Keep the culture alive. I am yours truly, DJ Quinn, your matured mixer and your musical companion on other stations. And this is a Forefront Today edition for this Easter Monday. I want to say thank you so much for coming on in, those of you, my silent listeners, and those of you who are thinking about asking a question. If the kite can rise, so can we. I want to say good night on behalf of my crew. Take care of yourselves and each other and enjoy the rest of what is left of Easter celebration as I definitely close out here with this production I made for this Forefront interview with the fellas tonight. Thank you so much for your time.
Forefront today. Where culture lives, where memories rise. From the streets of Georgetown to the hills of Jamaica, from Buxton to the diaspora worldwide. This is more than a conversation. Legacy in the sky. Back in the days when the sun would shine, paper kites dancing in a perfect line. From the yard to the seawall side, whole family out watching dreams take flight. Glue on we hands, bamboo we frame. Every kite tell a story, every child know the name. From the rooftop calls to the open breeze, we were flying more than kites, we were flying, believe. Lifted higher, don't let go. Feel the wind, let it flow. Let it rise, let it rise. Legacy written in the sky. From the past to our lives, we keep the culture alive. Let it fly. What we carry deep inside. From the roots we survive. Legacy in the sky. Radio played, reggae sound sweet. Neighbors line up, dancing in the street. From Jamaica to Guyana shore, one love, one vibe, we asking for more. Old time stories never fade away. Every Easter bring it back today. Even when we far from home, we still fly kites in a different zone. Don't let the culture fall. Don't let the memories die. If the kite can rise, so can we. Let it rise, let it rise. Legacy written in the sky. From the past to our lives, we keep the culture alive. Let it fly. What we carry deep inside. From the roots we survive. Legacy in the sky. From paper to purpose, from string to string. This is more than a memory. This is walk from today. DJ Queen, my chart mixer. We keep the culture